Thank you.
Thanks, Secretary Callahan. Mr. Richardson, thanks for being here. As I indicated in my opening statement, I regret the dispute over your appearance. I'm grateful that your schedule allowed you to be here. You've got a proven record of being involved in environmental protection. You come from a part of the country that is affected by this discussion, so I look forward to your testimony now.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Chairman, honorable committee members and guests, my name is Kevin Richardson. I was born in Lexington, Kentucky, and I was raised in the Appalachian Mountains of eastern Kentucky, where my father managed a camp and conference center that hosted retreats for religious groups and businesses from all over the world. There at the camp, I mowed the grass, swept the cabins, cleaned the toilets, and led hikes all over the thousands of acres that border the Danube National Forest that we lived on. Our entire water supply was supplied from a natural spring. I'm here today to talk about a systematic destruction of one of the most beautiful, productive, and historical regions of our country, my home state of Kentucky, the mountains of West Virginia and Tennessee, and the areas of other Appalachia where the practice of mountaintop coal mining has taken over. In the midst of their giant lakes of coal sludge that sometimes burst without warning, their constant dynamiting that shakes homes from their foundations, their transformation of forested mountain ranges into flat, gravel-covered moonscapes, and their contamination of well water and natural springs, coal companies engage in the practice of valley fill, our purpose for being here today. For years, the Corps of Engineers has routinely issued permits to coal companies in the southeast and Appalachia, allowing them to fill valleys and waterways with overburden from the mountaintop removal coal extraction operations. Overburden, along with coal sludge, are the byproducts of extracting and washing coal before shipping it to electric generating plants across the country. EPA officials, residents living in the shadows of mines, and citizens groups have questioned the validity and legality of the Corps' decision to issue such permits. Permits for an activity that dumps mining waste into the region's streams, rivers, and valleys. Hundreds of millions of tons of industrial mining byproducts are pushed into valleys surrounding coal extraction sites, to date bearing over 1,500 miles of headwater streams in West Virginia and my home state of Kentucky. Valley fills destroy spawning grounds that support our recreational fishing industry. They contaminate our drinking water, and they trash our thriving tourist industry that relies on the natural beauty of our area. In addition, these stripped lands can no longer absorb the seasonal rainfall, causing massive flooding and loss of life. People should not have to die when it rains. In April, a federal district court judge finally brought some needed attention to this issue by ruling that the Corps' practice of issuing valley fill permits violates Congress' intent on the Clean Water Act and its restrictions on using waterways for industrial waste disposal. The administration's recent attempt to circumvent the Clean Water Act by rewriting the rules to define coal extraction waste as fill is a nice gesture to their friends in the industry, but it clearly exceeds the administration's legal authority granted under the Act. Such a gesture cannot alter the meaning of the law. I urge you to make this clear to the President and his agencies. The bottom line is that we have an industry that has thrived not from honest business practices in a free market, but from passing its real costs to the people of Appalachia and the rest of the United States, with subsidies in the form of illegal permits from the Corps of Engineers and other agencies that are supposed to protect us. Ending the practice of valley fills and making coal companies manage their industrial waste like any other industry is not about hugging trees and worshiping mountains. It's about making coal companies compete for our energy dollar on an equal playing field with natural gas, hydroelectric, solar, and wind. It's about recognizing that we own the streams and rivers of this country, and that we own the fish and other natural resources in those waterways. Destroying the rivers, the fisheries, the forests, and mountains through irresponsible coal extraction, as well as co-produced acid rain deposition in your home state, Mr. Chairman, is no different than kicking down the doors of our homes and walking away with an armful of our valuables. Theft is theft. I'm not a scientist, but I know what I've seen on flights over the coal fields. My first flight was in spring 2001. The historic resources that sustain the Danube National Forest, the original Cherokees, and generations of mountain people are being converted on a mammoth scale into flat, lifeless plateaus. The first time I ever flew over the area, about 5,000 feet, I thought I would see, a few scarred peaks. Instead, I saw the entire horizon filled with mountains with their tops blown off. Huge lakes of toxic sludge and piles of waste filling every valley around the mines. I was sick to my stomach. I came here today to bring attention to an administration policy and a Corps of Engineers practice on valley fields that is completely misguided and gives no consideration to the generations to come. When I move back home to Kentucky to raise my family on my farm, I'd like my kids to be able to swim and fish in the same places I did when I grew up. I ask you, as our leaders, to look beyond the political clout of coal lobby and do what's right for the forgotten Appalachia region. In closing, I would like to personally invite each of you to take a flight with me over the mines and see firsthand how future generations are being robbed. Mr. Chairman, I thank you for your invitation to speak here today and to the committee and your willingness to bring this difficult issue to light. Thank you very much.
Thank Hearing will come to order. Thanks, Mr. Richardson. Your testimony vindicated my confidence that you would add something to the hearing, and you did. You have unique personal experience and strong